And now we speak with the Director of Technical Programs at the Nigerian Conservation Foundation, Dr. Joseph Onoja. It's good to have you join us to talk about the World Environment Day today. I don't know if you followed the report that we just reported, that we just viewed. Beyond the financial rewards that citizens stand to gain from, voluntary returning of used bottles, advocates like yourself have of course been bought in on this initiative. But what really does the environment stand to gain from initiatives like that?
You see, the thing about the environment is that whatever we give to it, it will return back to us. So eventually, we're not necessarily doing what we are doing for the environment, but we are doing for ourselves. It has been shown that the SDG has been coined by the United Nations is a kind of environment focus, because if you look at what it hopes to get, the SDGs that are environment focused are the pillars, are the foundation of where the other SDG lies. So eventually, what we are doing is not necessarily for the environment. Yes, we are saying ecosystem restoration. We are necessarily doing that so that it will provide the environmental services it ought to provide for us. That is what we are, and that's what we are advocating, to let people know that whatever we do for the environment, we're eventually doing it for our own.
Economic or ecosystem restoration now, but if you bring this meaning closer to the Nigerian situation, what for you is critical?
Well, I think we need to stop the rate of deforestation, because we are almost at being the nation with the most rate of deforestation in the world. At the point in time, we're second, and we're still battling between being the first or the second rate of deforestation. We are deforesting our forest at an alarming rate, and this forest serves as watershed for us. It serves as habitat for our animals, who, if we displace, will get closer to us and will transmit zoonotic diseases to us. They serve as climate change. Deforestation is really taking away what we ought to gain from the environment, because it has been shown to be the watershed that we are destroying, which provides stability to our environment. Because if we don't have watershed, we'll lose our clean water, and then our environment will be susceptible to landslide and to erosion as well. And also, it has been shown that forests are the panacea for climate change. And if we continue to deforest, then we will be suffering the consequences of climate change in Nigeria. That is why we need to look at deforestation and the rate at which we are deforesting our forest estates so much in Nigeria.
How do we get ordinary Nigerians, ordinary citizens to, key into initiatives like this? As you've rightly said at the onset of this discussion, now it isn't really about the environment, but about us.
And that is why we are coining our message, that when we talk about environmental conservation, we're actually talking about ourselves. For instance, when we meet people in the rural areas, we tell them, when you see an animal, for instance, we used to give probably even a toad or a frog. You don't know the service that this animal does to you. For instance, it's the one that is controlling the population of insects that feed on your crop. So if you kill that frog, for instance, the insects will not have any predator to be able to control their population, and they will destroy your crop, which you should have been feeding upon. So that is the connection we try to let them see, so that they will understand that this is real and this is happening. For those in urban areas, we tell them about the rate at which they are polluting the environment using single-use plastic and so on. Because these plastics will eventually find themselves into our ocean. And they find themselves into our ocean, they clog our drainage way before they go into our ocean. And when they get to our ocean, our fishes feed on them, breaking them into microplastics that lodge into the tissue of these fishes. And also sea turtles, for instance, they are killed by these plastics, and then they are no longer there, they are no longer available to be able to feed on jellyfish that feeds on fish. So we'll continue to have more and more fish supply on our table. So you can see that we are all interconnected in one way or the other. Or if we destroy the greenery around our area, we find out that our environment will become so hot and so unbearable for us. So at the end of the day, all of these things affect us that we do. So as we continue to take care of our environment, let us see how we will be able to. We should know that whatever we do to the environment, we are also doing it for ourselves because the environment is there to protect us.
Dr. Gabriel Onoja, thank you very much for your contributions on TVC News this hour.
Thank you very much.